Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. I'm Artieka.
And I'm Tommy.
And today we are going to be reviewing Ready to Love Season 4, Episode 9. And that one is titled Secrets and Betrayals. Before we get started, please take a minute to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. And let's do this.
All right, let's do it.
Starting out with the eliminations. We had this pregnant pause
right
from last week with Liz and David and Ron and Alexis. And Ron and David went home.
Yeah.
So if one guy would have gone home, we would have evened everything out.
Yep.
But because two guys went home, we now have one more woman than we have man. David know he was trying it when he said he self-eliminated.
Right, I don't understand where all that came from. He must have knew that he was going home.
Yeah, he's been the one to send people home.
Yeah. I didn't know where it came from, and I thought it was weird from last week. And then for him to be like, I'm self-eliminating, guys. See where it is, where it's going, and the devil and all this stuff. And I was like, well, why did you sign up for this show?
You know how Paige put a lot on God? Yeah. David put a lot on the devil.
Man, he does. He does.
And it's like, did the devil tell you to act like this?
Man, it could have been a simple... And a lot of people were... I remember in our comments, a lot of people were talking that, David was just trying to overbear her or whatnot by standing up. And I didn't pay attention to the fact that he stood up.
He stood up and then she got up.
Right. I didn't pay attention to that. And then somebody did say that Liz could have just let him talk. She could have, but that's not fair.
Well, Liz asked him one question. Are you not a gentleman?
Yeah.
Because that's what he rides on.
Right.
That he is a gentleman. He is a man of God. If you are a gentleman, usually they say ladies go first. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So if ladies go first, then why couldn't Liz go first?
I don't know.
Like it's a simple, easy thing to do.
It's definitely an easier way for them to have this conversation and not be so button heads on everything. But I think they already knew coming into it. Like Liz knew David was going to be sent home, but David also knew
that David was going to be sent home.
And to have a better face on it, he wants to say, hey, I just want to excuse myself from this process.
He did what Naya did.
He definitely did what Naya did.
Y'all ain't gonna send me home. I'm sending y'all home.
Right. I'm leaving y'all because y'all need me.
I'm David Ruffin. And y'all are the Temptations.
Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis.
They came to see me.
I don't know. I just felt like he could have let her talk and been more civil with what was going on, because David has more issues at hand than trying to date somebody. And, him having the conversation or the type of relationship him and Liz had, I think him and Liz could have talked through a lot of the issues that happened throughout what was the reason why he got sent home. And then also that could have helped him moving forward.
You always want to feel like when you sit down with a person, feelings are gonna be hurt.
Right.
Let's just be real with it. Like, nobody wants to be sent home.
Right.
Everybody wants the option to send themselves home. But one of the things that he said to Liz, direct quote was, I want to leave with integrity. I want to know how he feels about his leaving now, watching it. I'm sure he hasn't watched it.
Yeah.
But watching it, do you think that you left with integrity?
No, because the first thing you're going to say is, well, they cut out this part. But everything else happened, though, man. Like, you showed your colors, and it is what it is on it.
Right. So then we hop over to Ron and Alexis, and Ron just gave me like Petty Betty vibes.
Yeah, I was
like, man.
I was like, Ron, just tell him that he ain't ready for love and y'all just move on.
Well, it was like he started off by saying, I only felt like you came after me looking for validation.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, ouch.
Right.
Even if it's true, you never have to talk to this woman again. I mean, I know everybody exchanged numbers and whatnot, but like you literally do not have to talk to this woman again. Just leave.
Right.
But then on top of that, he hit her with the gut punch of, yeah, and I went on a date with Amber and I gave her a kiss. So I ain't even kiss you. I kissed somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's like, are we in third grade?
We are in third grade watching this.
What are we doing here? So needless to say, he was done. She was done. He went home. Now, I did not watch Ron's live, but I know that he did a live after last week's episode.
Oh, did he?
And he was basically saying that he self-eliminated. And I'm like, but did you though?
I don't think nobody can say they self-eliminate. The only person I've ever seen self-eliminate, and I've only been watching 2 shows, was Jay.
And Joy, technically.
And Joy and Edmund. Well, I take that back. 3 people self-eliminated.
Mm-hmm, but they were self-eliminating out of a rectangle.
Right. Like they self-eliminated just because, you know, when it was up, the decision hadn't been made.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I want to take my time and take myself out of the running because the person that I wanted to be with is not here anymore.
Right. It's like Joy went home and then Jay and Edwin were both like, this is who I was going for. She not here. I'm not going to just stick around to say I finished.
Right.
Like, I'm done.
Them guys got eliminated. And to save face, they want to say that they self-eliminating, but they knew coming into that meeting that they were going home.
So to self-eliminate, just giving a little bit of help for the next season. If you want to self-eliminate, don't show up to the elimination date.
Right.
That's the easiest way to self-eliminate. Nobody can send you home if you're not there.
Right. And the thing is, tell them before they, you know when the week is up, they all meet. Like, hey, I want to self-eliminate. Save y'all the trouble.
I'm going home. This isn't working for me.
Yeah.
All right. So after we get through with those 2 dates, we go back to the gentleman's lounge. There's 4 guys left. There's AJ, Chris, Joel, and Jason. And nephew Tommy tells him that he's going to send them to a ranch with the ladies that are left. So we get to see everybody's arrivals. Chris and Joel arrived first, then Vernisha, then we got Liz and Jason helped Liz with her luggage, then Kyra and Amber, and then Alexis, and then AJ showed up last. So Alexis walks in upset with AJ.
Yeah.
Because she said he wasn't there for her during her, like when she needed to talk about the elimination of Ron, which I don't feel like she should have been talking to him about the elimination, because you don't know what type of relationship he and Ron have.
Right.
So I just don't think that was a good thing to do. But also, one of the things that we didn't see on the episode, but there was a clip on OWN's website, was Alexis talking to Liz. And she basically let her know that I called AJ and I text AJ and I got no response. So I hit up Kyrah this morning and was like, hey, have you talked to AJ? And she was like, yeah, we talked for a little bit last night. And she was like hurt by that because he just wouldn't answer her. You're not the top of the list, girl. It's okay.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like when I saw that and she was like upset, I was like, you really shouldn't be upset with him because he's making a decision. But she's upset because the decision is not her. Right. But I understand like the frustration behind it, because you're like, choose me. But he's like really going through it, trying to figure out what he wants to do. Though. Right. That's it. And that's essentially what it is.
So there was a sit down conversation where it was outed by Amber, which apparently was from Ron, that Joel chose Kyrah as the person that he would go home with, and that set Vernisha off.
It did. And Joel was doing everything he possibly could to get back to her graces without saying sorry.
that baby wasn't working.
Oh, it was not. It was not. She was mad.
Big mad. So after that whole ordeal, the ladies are sitting outside and they hear a horn honking, and it's the Seagram's van pulling up. So they made them snowball cocktails, and Seagram's is really like, they must put some money.
You know they did.
Season.
They definitely put some money into it. Seagram's been everywhere in this season.
Yeah. So they had snowball cocktails, and then Alexis in her confessional said that she's now questioning Kyrah's motives. And I was like, Alexis questions every woman on this season.
Alexis finna go home, man.
Alexis didn't like what Chrysanthemum had on the date with Ron's friends. She mad at Amber this episode. She mad at Kyrah this episode. I'm trying to think of who else she's been mad at. It's just been like a lot of...
Yeah. Right, exactly. But I mean, I think she's built that way just because I have to be the center of attention. And when I'm not the center of attention, I want to be the center of attention.
I don't like it.
And so, you know, if whoever is the center of attention at this point is Kyrah, for the guy that she likes. And that's what it was.
All right. So Jason and AJ have a sit down chat about Kyrah, and basically they feel that Kyrah says she wants to be with Jason, but she's leaving AJ as an option, and they don't like that. And I don't get it. Like, if the goal is for you to date multiple people to figure out who you have a connection with, why are we so upset when there are other connections being made?
Because I'm not the pick. That's why. Because like with Jason's point of it is more so of, all right, man, she says she want me, but she still got you in the background. There's more work for me to do. I still have to make a decision with Jason's point of view because of Liz. Like, if she's pulling towards you a little bit, I just go over here with Liz, because what's to say they, you know what I'm saying? What's keeping one person in front of the other?
But you should be dating under the guise of this can go beyond this show, not how do I win this show.
I'm looking at it from
because there is no cash money prize.
right. I'm looking at it from a how do I win this show
and most
standpoint. Yeah, and that's how I feel like. I hope they're not, but I feel like that's the only way for me to enjoy it, to look at it from, you know, because it's nothing I can do as far as like changing the outcome of them going past. Like, it's nothing I can do for them, but just watch it. So it's like, I have to look at it that way.
All right. So next up, Jason, Liz, Kyra, and AJ go horseback riding. And the only thing that was eventful during the horseback riding was that Liz's foot got stepped on by the horse. Yeah. I'm sure that was painful.
I'm pretty sure it was.
After they get back from horseback riding, Joel has made dinner. And I said he's been playing damage control with Vernisha.
Man. Like, we have to talk about them. Just
Joel and Vernisha.
Joel and Vernisha. Just because they're not together as a couple.
Right.
But for all intents and purposes, they are a couple on this show. They're the most protected couple on this show. I think, because nobody else is like, I'm not gonna try for Joel. Amber is the only one that's been like,
I'm gonna go on a date with him.
I'm gonna go on a date with him. And I'm pretty sure they all have went on dates with other people and stuff like that. But for the majority of the show, it's been Joel and Vernisha. Joel know he was wrong, and he been trying to figure out what to do. Vernisha is on a sense of, and I like her line of thinking, it's just tell me. Don't allow somebody else to tell me when you could have just said something. I would have been cool with it because I understand what's going on. She wouldn't have liked it, but you know, she would have understood it.
There's a game to be played. And if you're going to play the game, at least we're not on opposing teams.
Right.
Show me your hand.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Like what you don't want to do is play against us in Taboo. That's all I'm saying. For anybody that want to challenge us, do not play us in Taboo.
I'm not going.
We're cold.
Not going there with you. You've been the best and worst partner I've ever had in Taboo.
That's my analogy for them. But anyway.
So, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, I don't think that Vernisha would be okay with it if he had showed her cards. I just don't think she would have been as not okay with it as she is with him trying to hide.
At this point, they would have been able to get over it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if he would have just been like, look, you're acting crazy and you was acting crazy, and I told them that I would go home with Kyra over you, she would still have had an attitude. Mm-hmm. But she would have been able to, I'm hoping she would have been able to, because I want to project, I hope she would have been able to at least come to the consensus of, all right, let's have a conversation about it. Let's move on.
But that's the thing that I like about her is she seems to be a very adult about situations when it comes to things that they're going through. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like the biggest thing is communication. And she was able to say, hey, your communication is off without demeaning him in any type of way. Like, I don't understand. We get into an argument. We're going to fuss and fight. The whole thing is, let me get my point across. Let me be mad about it. And I'm going to get over it.
That's you.
To a T. I understand it.
So Chris came in and he talked to Joelle about Vernisha and her rant outside because she was outside talking about she done with him. She's sick of this.
It's it. That's it.
Done.
I'm done, son.
And Chris basically told him, you need to go over there and you need to reassure her because, like, that's the one for you out of everybody that's here. So you need to go make amends.
I was going to say one thing that I thought was very cool was how receptive Joelle was to what Chris was saying. Mm-hmm. And I say that I pointed that part out because a lot of men have the mindset of, you can't tell me what's going on. Mm-hmm. You can't tell me something about quote unquote my lady. You know what I'm saying? But he's very receptive of what Chris was saying and actually asking questions. So trying to figure out like what's really going on.
Like, bro, go say you sorry.
Right. That's all you had to do is just say, I'm sorry.
I was wrong.
I'm going to work on it because I can't say that it won't happen again. I hope it doesn't, but I'm going to work on it moving forward. We're still trying to get to know each other. They have already established that communication is not Joelle's top stat or whatnot, but hey, he's working on it. So,
all right. So next up, we see Jason and Liz go outside and cuddle at the gazebo. She asks him to rub her feet because the horse stepped on them, and then they kissed after that. And she told him that she never imagined herself with a guy like him. Mm-hmm. And I was like,
but you can't just say they kissed. They had a nasty kiss, like one of those they kissed.
Okay. Whatever. Liz, we didn't see you with a guy like him either.
Saw you with David. Until David started.
I mean, thank God for Jesus that you're not, but we didn't see you with Jason. So Jason and Liz come in. Joelle asks Liz to go outside and get the ladies so that they can have dinner. And Joelle also pulled Vernisha to the side and he tries to clean up everything by offering her a kiss and then an apology. I think he would have gotten the kiss had he offered the apology first.
Right.
They agreed that everyone needs to be heard to overcome the obstacles that they're facing. And then they went over and sat down and ate with everyone. Let's see. While they were sitting there, Alexis asked AJ what happened because she called him and texted him and he didn't answer. And she just said she felt like he wasn't reassuring her in their situation. I want to use the word relationship, but nobody's in a relationship.
Right, except for Nisha and Joel.
Well, they're not even in a relationship. They're not even in a relationship. This is the F-boy vibes that we were talking about in that live with AJ. It's like, I'm calling you, I'm texting you, and then I can talk to another chick. And she like, yeah, I talked to him last night. I have no reason to believe that Kyra's lying because it was something very simple. Yeah. Like, did you speak with him? Yeah. Well, we know he didn't die because he right here in my face. And he hasn't told me that anything crazy happened. So a simple, hey, I'm busy. Hey, I'm working. Something would have been helpful. So what do they say in that movie? He's just not that into you.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
he was actually pointing out some of the flaws that she had, like her overreaction when things happen and stuff, being a turnoff for him.
He doesn't like her, and he hasn't liked her since their first date. He's just been trying to stay in the game long enough to get at Kyrah, who was the one that got away, which is his fault because I mean, who else can I blame on that?
Right, nobody but him.
And it's just like, I'm staying in the game long enough because if I hadn't done what I did with Alexis, then Kyrah would be off in Jason land because who else would there be for her?
Right.
Apparently everybody, but
right.
Kyrah didn't know that because I did see, and I tried not to do it with Married at First Sight, but I fall and pray with this show. I have like tuned in to lives here and there, like bits and pieces. And like Kyra was like, the Joelle thing caught me completely off guard. She was like, we never even went on a date. She was like, David picking me was one thing because we had gone on dates. But she was like, Joelle was just like,
that's out of the blue.
What?
That's why I was like, Joelle, just tell her what you told everybody else. Like I just said the first name that came up in my head because I was mad at you. I was mad at you. I didn't want to say I'll pick you, so I just came with the next name, which was
I ain't picking nobody.
It's Kyra.
That's what children do. I ain't picking nobody. Which would have been me. I would have been a child in that regard. So Joelle and Vernisha show up with drinks for everyone, and Kyra suggested that they play games, and Joelle suggested that they play Truth or Dare. That never ends well.
I always have fun playing.
Well, in a group of single people who are all like, I don't want to say cross-contaminating, but they cross-contaminate.
I got you.
They kissing on each other. It's not going to end well.
I got you.
So Chris was dared, I can't remember who dared him, to rub Amber's feet for like a whole minute and a half. And he did it. Chris asked Vernisha, was it true that she's done with Joelle? She was like, no, that's not true. Joelle and Vernisha have to kiss for 10 seconds to make it very awkward. And I was like, that is awkward because you can kiss somebody for 10 seconds or more, obviously. And it's not awkward. But if somebody tells you to hold a kiss and they're counting in the background,
right, it's awkward.
You want to do is laugh.
I want to stop. I want to stop now.
I would like to stop kissing this person in front of you right now. No matter how long you and this person have been together, it's just like, no.
Like, all right, I'm done.
This is weird. So they asked Jason if it was true that he was torn between Liz and Kyra. He said it was true. And then they asked a follow-up question that I can't remember what it was, but he did not answer the follow. Oh, I think it was who was he leaning more towards?
Oh, yeah.
And he asked for a shot. He was like, I'm not answering that.
Yeah. And both of the girls was like, I don't know.
Was he taking shots of Seagrams?
Probably. They'd be mad at me. I'd be like, man, y'all ain't got no whiskey, bourbon.
Be like, I'm not drinking. I don't drink. I'm not gonna be
just give me some water.
I'm on an antibiotic and I can't drink. I remember having to do that when when I first got pregnant, telling somebody I'm on an antibiotic, I can't drink, just so they would stop offering me drinks. let's see. Are you torn between the two? Oh, that was a question for AJ. About Kyra and Alexis, and they asked him for the differences between them, and he said they're both forthright, and the difference between them is what's familiar versus what's new. And I feel weird with the familiarity of him and Kyra because it was only 2 dates.
Yeah,
let them tell it.
But it's the familiar part was I've dated her, like went on a date with her. I know her before the show, and then I'm just meeting Alexis. No matter how far ahead of you it was, I've known her long.
Right. So then they get into I guess this wasn't technically the truth or dare. This was just an open forum.
Yeah.
Where they asked Liz about her elimination with David because they was like, elephant in the room. There's some people not here.
Right.
Who sent them home. And so Liz went in and told her story about David, and then Alexis chimed in with her story about Ron, and then Alexis started in on Amber. Called that girl a Judas.
Called her Judas.
Now, the interesting thing is that Amber had not told Chris that she went on a date with Ron and Ron kissed her. Now, I wonder if it's like Joelle's kiss, because she held that kiss to a high regard, saying he kissed me, but nobody was there to see that it was just a kiss on the cheek. It's like with Ron, was it a kiss on the lips or was it a kiss on the cheek?
I think Chris was like taking this conversation in.
He was.
Like, oh, okay. You know, she went on a date with Ron. The kiss part probably surprised him. But there was no, I need to be worried.
No. I don't think that he was worried. I think that he was like, man, I didn't talk to you since then. You ain't mentioned that.
Right.
Because they know that they're all going on dates with other people, regardless. And a lot of these dates, they're not setting up. Like, production is doing this. They're telling you, hey, we haven't had enough of you two on screen together, so I'm gonna get you, and y'all gonna meet at this place at this time. And so that's, part of how it goes. And when you look at it from that regard, it's kind of like, okay, it is what it is. But the kiss part was just kind of like him saying, okay,
right.
All right. When this season first started, I did not see Amber having a lot of connection. She looked, and the way that I don't want to say the aura, but like what she gave off was that she would be a little bit more guarded. And she wasn't going to be like a big personality that was going to be dating all these guys. And when she got with Chris, I was like, here he is falling into the same thing again. And he got one with him. And it's not to say anything negative about that, because again, I think that would be my position on a show like this. I'm not about to date 13 people that I don't care about getting to know. Like, one here, one there. I'm still gonna gravitate to who I like. But I just didn't expect for her to be like going on all these dates and having all these connections and these quote unquote kisses that may or may not have actually happened. So how do you think this is going to end with Alexis and Amber, knowing that one woman is going to have to go home?
Alexis is going home.
You think so?
Yes, I think Alexis is going to go home. And I think AJ is going to be the guy that gets eliminated.
So what other lady goes home? Because it has to be two.
It's either Kyra or Liz.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think Joelle and Vernisha are going to make it to the end, and you think that Amber and Chris are going to make it to the end? I think so. And you think that it's Jason
and either Kyra or Liz.
What if Jason just does something completely wrong and AJ stays?
Then Kyra would stay. Alexis is going home. Like, her time is up, man. I know it. Because and then you think about it like this: Alexis is causing a lot of I won't say trauma and pain, but she's commotion between more people.
Mm-hmm. Because now she's infiltrated the Amber and the Chris dynamic.
Yeah.
She's infiltrating the Kyra and AJ dynamic. And in the past, it's been Chrysanthemum and
right.
I can't think of who else.
Right. And it's kind of like everybody else is kind of like staying out the way, but talking to their respective person, you know, and stuff. So, I mean, I think Alexis is the one that is the oddball out in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then once Alexis is gone, AJ would then become the oddball out because the only thing that he has going is Kyra.
So let's just say Kyra and AJ make it.
Mm-hmm.
Liz and Jason make it. That leaves what guys? Chris and Joelle. Who do you think will go home in that dynamic?
I don't know, because I don't think it's either Jason or AJ to go home.
But you see how the tables could turn and send somebody else home.
Yeah.
Like,
It's gonna be tough, and we're gonna get to a point to where we have like what we got now, 4 girls, 5 girls.
It's 9 people total, so there are 4 guys and 5 ladies.
5 ladies, so we know a girl is gonna go home.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, we may keep it where it's an oddball for the guys.
Sending home another guy, and then it's fight to the finish.
Right. Because, I mean, like, how do you determine who goes home when everybody has a couple? You know, is it like we just race to see who gets sent home, or is it us 4? So I would think that we wouldn't have
standing couples.
Huh?
I said maybe they are going to do 4 standing couples.
But I would figure that they would have, like, we wouldn't have an elimination for a little while. Like, everybody will make it through this resort, and stuff, and then, you know.
Look, let me check out something while you're talking. You can go ahead and finish your sentence.
But I just, you know, it could go that way. So I don't really know how they're gonna finish this up.
Because this was episode 9, right?
Yeah, and it's 13, so we got 4 more.
Mm-hmm. But I think 2 of them are gonna be reunion.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So they might just make it through here. So they might just send a boy and a girl home.
I don't like that they didn't give me anything to go on. Episode 10 is called Thomas Miles. Episode 11 is called Thomas Miles. So, yeah, I don't know. 10, 11, 12, and 13. So if we say 12 and 13 are reunions, that means we have 10 and 11 to do 3 eliminations.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I can't call it, man.
This gets interesting. This is the interesting part of the show, because it's like you're not invested in these people having a happily ever after, because you don't care once we get done with episode 13.
Have a happily ever after.
No. I mean, like, you're not invested.
Yeah.
So it's like once they get to like episode 13, it's like you be like, who? Because you have not thought about Joy, Jay, Winter, or any of them since the last season. So it's just, it is what it is. Yeah. So tell us, guys, tell us what you think or who you think is going to go home next. Do you agree with Tommy that it's going to be Alexis and then AJ? Or some other split of that dynamic? I think as we look at it, Alexis probably would be the next one to go home. Or Liz. Because they're the only ones that only have one guy. Mm-hmm. Well, Bernicia too.
But I don't think they're going, like... Right, they're not fighting anybody for the guy.
Bernicia might self-eliminate.
She might. That'll be a toss-up right there. Somebody self-eliminate.
Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell, comment down below, let us know what you guys thought of this episode.
Hit the like button.
And if there's any new news that you've seen for any of the characters that have been eliminated, I'm gonna go and try to watch some live streams this week, Because you know everything gets uploaded to YouTube now.
Right. YouTube is where it's at.
All right, you got anything
No,
else?
I don't.
All right, bye y'all.
Peace.